Namaskar. Namaskar, Nilab ji. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. You are audible, sir. Please continue.
Om Purnamidam Purnamada Purnat Purnam Mudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I am grateful to Rashtrahood Vishwavidyalaya and Pragya Pravah and Shiksha Mantralaya of Bharat Sarkar for having invited me through Professor Sampadanand Mishra, Dr. Akhil Sharma and Nilab Sharma ji to be with you through the virtual mode to speak on the critical reflections on Ekatma Jeevan Darshan in contemporary context. So this is Baisakhi Day, and we are having the ongoing days of Shakti, that is the Chaitra Navaratri. So I would just start with a supplication to that Shakti, because that Shakti contains Chiti, and Chiti contains Virat. And Chiti is the pranashakti of an individual, of this srishti, of this cosmos, this cosmic consciousness, is invoked so many times in our dharmic civilization called Sanatan Bharatiya Sabhyata or Sanskriti, whichever way you try to say. We do not see any difference between all these registers coined up, fashioned out in the West, that this is civilization, this is culture. To us, only one construct matters, and that is dharma. So this Sanatana dharma enables us to invoke that Shakti, and I invoke one, because that gives us the clue of Ekatmata, the most misunderstood. Why critical reflections on Ekatma Jeevan Darshan? Because we have to understand, re-comprehend, re-understand the semantic configurations and the social, political, cultural, spiritual configurations of the term Ek, Ekatmak, Ekatmakta, which are generally misunderstood, which are generally, draped into the miasma of either metaphysics or political rhetoric. I will show it to you that we have a great and urgent need in the context of the frightening developments in the field of social, political, economic, cultural, spiritual, and environmental domains that threaten our existence as Bharatiyas and as Vishwamanav, and even these developments are threatening the very planetary existence. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Mudachyate. So those who are in pursuit of that Eka and Ekatmakta should understand that this whole should not be destroyed in the pursuit of that Eka, which is much misunderstood right now, that everyone seems to be in pursuit of that Eka, which is either Ekanki, which is or Ekangi or Ekantik. Look at this, or Ekal or Ekrupa. Look at the significations of this Ek. Remember, this Ek is Advaitin. But look at the other significations of Ek. I will come to integral also, because integral also has a range of configurations. Integral humanism or integral human vision, Manava Darshan. They both have this adjective called integral. And this integral again is fraught with a range of, as I would say, a range of misreadings, possibilities of misreadings. Because it is not before 16th century that this adjective came into existence, integral. And integral is not whole, because what is central to the vision of integral humanism is Ekatma Jeevan Darshan, because integer, the Latin root of integral, connotes and denotes as well the part of which is a part of the whole, a part which desires a whole to derive its meaning. So this integral humanism, integral is merely a qualifier grammatically, but this qualifier does not contain the meaning. The clue to the meaning lies in that purnata, in that ekatmakta. So ekatmakta, my point is that this ekatmakta is not conveyed properly through integral. Man, this is the problem of using a foreign language. उन्होंने तो एकात्मक मानव दर्शन कहा था, जिसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है. The moment you try, like understanding Greek, Aristotle's poetics through English or Hindi, you will ultimately mutilate Aristotle's poetics while you try to understand it in Hindi or Tamil or through even English. Because the Greek registers may not and cannot be culturally translated. Like Ekatma cannot be translated into English. It's an untranslatable cultural register. And dharmic register, adhyatmic register. So in the context of increasing dangers of planetary destruction, terrorist-related destruction, and the social hatred, communalism, and all kinds of disparities which are operative and we are witness to in the present world, let us try to see a vision, and its implications, through the non-binary, through the non-binaristic view, that is Ekatma Jeevan Darshan. Why should it be called Jeevan Darshan? I'm not in a race to recoin the term Ekatma Jeevan Darshan or Ekatmak Manav Darshan. I'm comfortable with all because we mean the same thing. If it is not dharma-centric, if Purusharth Chatushtay are not at the center of any vision, there is no such vision like Manav Kendrit vision in India. India has never ever been anthropocentric. So that is the problem with India. So any ism or any Manava Darshan, which is not dharma-centric, which is not holistic, as Deen Dayal Upadhyaya ji kept on reinforcing and reiterating throughout those lectures delivered in Mumbai in 1965. So what is non-binaristic ekatmakta that I can invoke now in the name of Shakti? Let us give you an illustration that you can start from point A, B, C, D, E, F, or Z, anywhere in Indian tradition. It's such a wonderful open architecture. It says, because it's a dharmic architecture. You can enter from a position of non-belief. You can enter from a position of nastikata, a naysayer to any kind of sacred book or any kind of sacred deity. There are no final deities and final truths in this wonderful dharmic architecture of our Sanskriti, our dharma. But you will reach the point of ekatmakta. Even so what is that ekatmakta? What is that Shakti? Look at this now non-binaristic exposition, where even the contradictions and conflicts which are so central to the Western epistemology of ek, मैं आपको बताऊंगा कैसे Government of India appointed me as the editor of one of the world's largest open universities to take care of the project Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat. Look at the flaws, the blunders committed by the Government of India in the construction of that Ek, when I was made the editor of a project on Ek Bharat and Shrestha Bharat. Wasn't it to be Ekatmak Bharat, Shrestha, and therefore Shrestha Bharat? No, it was kept Ek Bharat. And what was there by way of the inclusion of course content? Course content was like this, that India became civilized, Bharat became civilized, Bharatiyas became civilized because of the introduction of Islam and Christianity. This Ek Bharat desires that ekness, that ekta, which is fostered through the introduction. Now, I am not talking offhand. My remarks are there on the Government of India project. This was a frightening project where it was said that India was full of Brahmanical violence, patriarchal violence, caste violence, gender hatred, gender discrimination. It was an actual hellhole for all the people of India who were waiting, all agog to be liberated from the stranglehold of this kind of perverted dharmic Sanskriti called the Hindu Sanskriti. And the moment came when Christianity and Islam brought with it that liberatory push. And to attest it further, please read post-Hindu India. These are the dangers where Ekatma Darshan or Jeevan Darshan has got to be repostulated. Read post-Hindu India by Kancha Ilayya. He is a very well-known political scientist. What kind of Ek Bharat? So when the Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat, I objected to the positions taken by the writers of the units of Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. That was the Bhakti period which was given to me to evaluate. I said that Bhakti, it was only in that domain of Bhakti that India for the first time became culturally, through Bhakti and Karma and Jnana, one. That oneness of India was never so vocal, except in the field of Bhakti, remember. But Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat, the study packages modules which are being prepared by some of the well-known scholars in India, even now. Look at the dictionaries prepared by NCERT, Dictionary of Sociology, Dictionary of History. Again, no abstraction. I am talking in very concrete and alarming terms to the present power structures also. Look, all these dictionaries carry no trace of Ekatmakata, your dharmic jnana parampara, your Bharatiya dharma kendrita jnana parampara. No trace. Every pratyay, every concept is explained through the Western epistemology. The dictionaries prepared by NCERT. Where is Ekatma Darshan? Is it only to be discussed and delineated threadbare in such international goshtis for the Bauddhik Vagvilasa? Shabdajalam Maharanyam Chitta Brahmanakarakam. Shankar said it well thousands of years ago. शब्दजाल के लिए आपने बुलाया, ये सब आयोजित किया है क्या? कहाँ implementation? Everyone is afraid of Deen Dayal Upadhyaya ji. Everyone is afraid of Shri Aurobindo's integral yoga also. I will prove as to how Deen Dayal Upadhyaya, that there's not much time, how Deen Dayal Upadhyaya reinforces, reiterates something which is very fundamentally present as the foundation of Bharatiya Sanskriti, Indian culture, and that is Shri Aurobindo's exposition of Sanatan Dharma. Without Sanatan Dharma, he says that I am ready for this Ekatmata. He called it political Vedantism. But political Vedantism without knowing the one and the other, that is, the other always goes with one. So without that metaphysical or philosophical complexities, you can understand that Shri Aurobindo pointed out that without that intellectual Kshatriyahood, without the force of Kshatriyas, remember, Vedantism can never be realized. That is to say, we have to have Shastra as well as Shastra. We have to know as that the notion of oneness at the highest level of spiritual consciousness, is truth. But to realize that highest level of spiritual consciousness, that is one, that is oneness, that is Advaita. You have to pass through these dualities. You have to understand the differences. Yeah. Otherwise, why in Prasthantrayi there is a commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, but not on Ramayana, not on Yoga Vasishtha? Why the Bhagavad Gita was chosen? Bhagavad Gita was chosen because this is the boldest assertion of doing your duties while being ekatmak, while being in oneness with all, with with the cosmic realities, which is also in consonance with our Shruti, Atharveda's Bhumi Sukta or Prithvi Sukta. There is no confusion in our being one with the cosmic one. Yat pinde tat brahmande. No problem. But you have to perform your duties, your dharma, your swadharma in all situations. You cannot abandon your dharma. Shankara, if he was essentially non-dual Advaitin, then what was the need of doing Shastrarthas? What was the need of setting up mutts? If there is no other. Look, there are others at the Lokik level, in the Vyavharik Satta. And therefore, you have to work in the realm of Adhyas also. This Sansara, this Maya cannot be negated, nor can be denied. Therefore, Vedanta has five or six major schools where, remember, identity and difference, where oneness and difference both are postulated. So without having a truck or commerce with differences, and these differences can be frightening and dangerous to the entire planetary existence, you cannot have the idea of oneness. If there is only philosophical idea of oneness that has no tangible contact with realities, that are out to destroy a society, a community, a family, an individual, and the world, that Ekatmata, that Advaita has no meaning and has no significance, and of course has no relevance at all, except I don't know whether it promises individual moksha or not, because if you are in the realm of adharma, not doing your duty, discharging your duties, swadharma, and then going in pursuit of your individual mukti, I have my own doubts that if your pursuit of mukti is not sanctioned through dharma, and therefore Deen Dayal ji says that without dharma, you cannot understand the Chiti of this nation. And without Chiti, this nation will eventually be colonized, controlled, conquered, and will get destroyed, because the virat of this whole humanity will be weakened, enfeebled. This Chiti, virat, and the pranashakti. So at the level of the individual, that is Vyashti, Samashti, Srishti, and Parmeshti, they are all interconnected through that Shakti. और इसलिए again, this is from the Atharvaveda, Devya Atharva Shirsham, and I dedicate it to our Rishi, David Frology. Sabravit, Aham Brahma Swarupani, Matta Prakriti Purushatmakam Jagat, Shunyam Cha Ashunyam Cha. I am Shunya, I am Ashunya. Aham Ananda, Ananandau Cha. Aham Vigyan, Jnane Cha. Aham Brahma, Abrahmani Veditavve. Aham Panchabhutane, Apanchabhutane. Aham Akhilam Jagat. Vedo Aham, Avedo Aham. अवेद भी मैं हूं. विद्या अहम, अविद्या अहम, अजा अहम, अनजा अहम, अधः च ऊर्ध्वं च तिर्यक् वा अहम. This whole ecosystem, this whole cosmic system, time and space, both am I. एकैव सर्वत्र वर्तते तस्मात् उच्यते एकः. Why this ekatmakta? Explanation is through Shakti, that this Eka Sarvatra Vartate Tasmat Uchate Eka. So this Eka, but Eka can become a binary. No, it's not binary. Eka Vishwarupani Tasmat Uchate Neka. Because all the manifestations of this Eka are revealed as differentiations, as differences in this cosmic existence. Therefore, Eka and Neka and Aneka, they are both one. Again, no binaries. Ekaiva Vishwarupani Tasmat Uchyate Nekaha Ataha Eva Uchyate Aggeya Ananta Alaksha Aja Eka Naika. Now, That is why Ekatma, which is sorely missing in the Western perspectives on our existence, on our asmita, on our consciousness, on our being. These perspectives of wholeness, oneness, ekatmata, because the Western conceptualization is too individualistic and atomistic, where read Vaman Shivaram Apte, the Kosh, he says that there is ek in the form of ekam, ekal, ekatam, ekangi, ek roop, ekatratmak. Remember, so we are ekatmak, not ekatratmak. We are in ekya, in oneness, without being ekarup. There is no ekarupata, no samrupata. There is a kind of global push, a heavy global push for being a monochromatic society through the consumeristic and political and new economic pressures before all societies. How to cope up these societies? We have to go back to Shri Aurobindo and Swami Vivekananda and Deen Dayal Upadhyaya ji in order to know the solutions, the tangible solutions. So again, I would say it is that Shakti. All your endeavors, all your kamana, all your ichha Shakti, jnana Shakti, karma Shakti, that is all the manifestation of Shakti, which is Eka. Your Nidra, your Buddhi, your Chetana, your Nidra, your Kshudha. I am speaking from Durga Saptashati. Your Shakti, your Trishna, your Shanti, your Lajja, your Shanti, your Shraddha, your Kanti, your Lakshmi, your Vritti, your Smriti, your Daya, your Tushti, your Matra Rupa, your Bhranti Rupa, your Chiti Rupa, all are one. Because they are the manifestations of Shakti. Sarva Bhuta Sthitam Yo Mam Bhajete Ekatvam Astitah Sarvatha Vartamano Api Sa Yogi May Vartate. I am one. Eko Aham Bahusyama. I become many. So this is the Rupa of that Ek, which cannot. Now the issue is that the adjective integral, which is used to posit oneness or you can say ekatmak, is wrong, because it was the product of the 17th century mathematical philosophy. Leibniz and Newton, they used the term, what, integral, in order to give a philosophy or the philosophy of calculus. And so from 17th century onwards, identity and differentiations, they both became the coordinates, identity as well as differentiation, the connectivity as well as differentiation. They are the two major coordinates of integrality, of integral. Remember, it is again, it leads on to that kind of fractured, fragment-oriented discourses of the West, where every pre-posits a post, and post further is divided into so many posts. So rather than integral humanism, you can have that integral post-humanism going by the West. So therefore, all these leading thinkers, including Shri Aurobindo and Swami Vivekananda and Deen Dayal Upadhyaya ji, they were mindful of these differences, of these conspiratorial pulls and pressures exercised by the dominant West on the then colonized India, the then colonized part. But then we became free, and we should now carry no illusion that we are still under the pull of that colonial Maya. That's why we are committing so many blunders, and they should be accounted for because of the preponderance and perpetuation of that project, that colonial discourse. Now, we are culpable. So that has to be taken care of, that if we need a world free from binarism, free from consumerism, free from terrorism, because not recognizing the otherhood of the other, and remaining in the bubble of Advaita and Ekatmata will not do. It has never worked even. Even Deen Dayal Upadhyaya ji was so vocal and loud about the dangers that India had to attend to. Mind you, 1965, 1962, China had already happened. Now, most of my Advaitin friends, they look askance at these things. They say that no, it is the Shankara Advaita that contains the solution to all the problems. No, and certainly not. If you remained, again I say, in that cocooned discourse of Shankara Advaita and do not have truck, you don't have any commerce with the dualities. And Shankar knew those dualities. He transcended those dualities by creating certain mechanisms, and remaining, not carrying that bubble of Advaita wisdom without countering the dangers which are lurking everywhere to ambush you as a civilization, as a nation, as a Rashtra. Because your Chiti and your Virat both are endangered. It is only recently that we are becoming conscious of our Chiti, our pranashakti. And Chiti, as a term, when Deen Dayal ji he wrote it in a very hasty manner, like Hindu Swaraj. He was so clear in his mind that you can call it Bharatiya Chetana, Bharatiya Vichar, I have no objections. You call it the notion of Hindutva, I have no objection. Even he said that this is my vision of Hindutva. What is wrong in, now we are so conscious of using the term Dharma, Purushartha Chatushtaya, Parameshthi, because if I say that my Vyashti, Samashti, Srishti, now they are not complete until it reaches the Parameshti. So we do not say this on the public platforms because that is not constitutionally correct. We always try to, and to Deen Dayal ji, and so was the case with Shri Aurobindo. They said that this Sanatana Dharma is the only true politics. Now, I don't have time. I have spoken enough on those on many platforms, and Sampadananji knows it, that no one is there, no political party, no pressure, there are not many intellectuals who posit this, that without this Sanatan Dharmi Shakti and Sankalpa, you can neither make a politics which is Bharatiya Rajniti. Look, that Rajniti will not be there. There will be neither Raj nor Niti. You will play the politics in the Western parlance, using the Western epistemological discourse of politics. आप वही कर रहे हैं. आप में न राज्य धर्म है, न राजधर्म है, न धर्मराज है. आपने तो धर्मराज्य भी त्याग दिया. You are always afraid of saying that we are not Bharat because of the provision made in the preamble of Indian Constitution. We are Bharat because we do not believe in dharma nirpekshata. No political leader can say this. The power structures are in the hands of those people who always avoid, or they resort to tushtikarana, or because this will be resented by Venkat ji or C.L. Chandan ji or Nilab ji or Sampadanand ji. So I should refrain from using these terms. I would do worship to Lord Ram. I would now work for Krishna Janma Bhumi. There will be an Ekatmata. We are living in a fool's paradise. This tokenism was hated by Shri Aurobindo and Deen Dayal Upadhyaya ji, and even Swami Vivekananda. They are the outsiders to this kind of ritualistic remembrance of your icons, only to garner votes and power. Mind you, these are harsh words. Otherwise, what is happening? Education holds the key to the strengthening of the national Chiti and pranashakti. And what is happening in the field of education? राग दरबारी एक नॉवल है, मैं आपको 2 उदाहरण देता हूं. उसका पहला पन्ना उठाइए. राग दरबारी, चंदन जी, नीलाभ जी, संपदानंद जी से भी आग्रह करूंगा. श्रीलाल शुक्ल ने लिखा. उन्होंने कहा, वो 1964 में नॉवल लिखा था, और उन्होंने कहा एजुकेशन इज दैट बिच. हिंदी में लिखा नॉवल, उपन्यास, आधुनिक भारत में शिक्षा की दशा उस कुतिया की तरह है जिसे सड़क पर पड़ी उस कुतिया की तरह है जिसे हर आने जाने वाला लात मारकर चला जाता है. Very harsh words in 1964. That Nehruvian vision of secular India, modern India, technocrat India, strong India collapsed. मोहभंग का वो, अब तो मोहभंग नहीं होना चाहिए, अब तो हमारी संकल्प शक्ति आ गई. क्यों? ये एक और बात है कि दीनदयाल, मैं सिर्फ उनका विजन नहीं, इनफ आई एम से आफ्टर रीडिंग महेश शर्मा, दत्तोपंत ठेंगड़ी जी एंड अशोक सिंगल जी and all those great thinkers, Ashok Modak ji, those who have worked on the vision of and David Frawley ji, I need not tell you about the vision itself because that is well known to you. What I'm trying to say, why for Ekatmata he invokes Atharveda's Bhumi Sukta, Prithvi Sukta. There are more reasons to it than meet the eye. There's more to it than meets the eye. Why? Because that is the Prithvi Sukta, where the clue to our Rashtratva lie in our spiritual, social, mind you, spiritual, social, dharmic performance, not spiritual, social, or cultural invocations of values. Merely invoking those values, either in terms of philosophy or either in terms of ritualistic practice, will never create that Prithvi, that Praja for which Prithvi Sukta was visualized. वो जो मंत्र है उसमें ध्यान रहिए, सत्यम बृहत ऋतम उग्रम, फर्स्ट इज सत्य एंड देन ऋत, सत्य एंड ऋत पर खड़ा है आपका राष्ट्र, आपका राष्ट्रत्व, आपका प्रजात्व, आपकी एकात्मकता. सत्यम बृहत, वृहत सत्य होना चाहिए. इन द महाभारत एंड इन महाभारत यू सी इन वन पर्व देखिए, उन्होंने कहा सत्य और धर्म है जिससे आप चलते हैं. धर्मो रक्षति रक्षिता, अगर धर्म की रक्षा करता है सत्य, वह सत्य है. इफ दैट सत्य either damages dharma, that is not satya, that satya has to be abandoned. That satya has got to be abandoned because that asatya which protects that dharma at that point of time. Look at that whole discourse in the Shanti Parva as well as Van Parva. It is reiterated so many times. Ahimsa paramo dharma. Again, it is much quoted, misquoted, line from the Mahabharata. Remember, where ahimsa paramo dharma is being quoted in one parva, it is only for the Brahmins. The next line is for Kshatriyas. That in order to realize that ahimsa parak samaj, that dharma remain ahimsaka, you have to have Kshatriya. You have to have a Kshatriya Shakti. So this Rita and Sata, Satya and Rita, Diksha, Tapa, Yagya, and Adhyatmik Shakti, Brahma. These are the 6 major coordinates of performance, that make this praja. And throughout those 63 verses, 63 richas which are arranged in that Prithvi Sukta, you have so many times, you have so many times that they invoke this Bhumi to destroy the enemies, to impart that kind of bala to destroy the enemies. So this Ekatmata cannot be the sankalp of those who are already weak. Those who are very careful and cautious, in terms of majority and minority. Mind you, on 23rd of April 1965, Deen Dayal Upadhyaya ji, threadbare attack, hook, line and sinker denounced the very notion of majority and minority. And he says that this Dharma Rajya, if India has to be a Dharma Rajya, then this notion of of majority and minority has got to be abandoned. Please read that the last part of that discourse by Deen Dayal Upadhyaya ji. He said that is Kashmir, the people of Kashmir, 4 million of them decide to secede from India, that will be adharma and that cannot be granted by Rajya. So clear in 1965. He says that even if there is one person in India who says that this is truth because this is rooted in dharma, that is truth. And that should be the Rajya Dharma. That should be the Raja Dharma. So very clear was he. And then this significance of this Purushartha Chatushtaya in the performance of our duties, this adhikar and kartavya. You have adhikar to perform your kartavya. There is no right that ensures you further rights in the context of India, which is the case in a kind of secular polity, secular, whether it is socialist or capitalist or whatever in the West. They are for more and more rights, and there are a clash and conflicts of rights. It's a conflict-ridden society over rights. We are a sahacharya-oriented society. We are a society where samavaya is the goal, that the many should become one, because all is one. But all is one cannot be realized if we do not recognize the differences that all offer to us. We have to recognize, we have to take note of those differences, and therefore that Chiti Shakti, as I said, that Chiti Shakti is exhibited in the performance of our Purusharthas. How we perform our dharma, artha, kama, the artha of the rashtra, kama of the rashtra, artha and kama, the political economy and all those desires, the collective desires also, and the individual desires also. Because that is the domain where the life of the nation is lived, life of a people is lived. Now, artha and kam are grounded into dharma, into that moral law, into that innate law, which is eternal as well as temporal. Temporal in the sense that those eternal values, dharma, dashika, lakshanam, manu mein ja nahi raha hu usme, 6th chapter, 92, धृति क्षमा दमो अस्तेयम शौचम इंद्रिय निग्रह, या आप दैवीय संपदा भगवत गीता में ले लीजिए 26 दैवीय संपद, anything which results into the promotion of that Devi Sampad and is against the Asuri Sampad, which we are having now, which we are very gladly accepting as to be our own, our national wealth, on the road of progress, on the road of a kind of consumeristic India. So, ये choice है. Look, nothing is denied to us in our dharmic architecture. You want to be adharmic, then even they say following adharma is also a part of the divine scheme of things. You follow adharma, but karma shakti, jnana, karma or ichha, all are one in ekatmak. There is an ekatmakta at the level of self also. Why? In Kamayani, 1936. I end with these lines of Kamayani, Jaishankar Prasad.
I request you to conclude now.
Yeah, please, 8 lines. क्रिया, श्रममय कोलाहल पीड़नमय विकल प्रवर्तन महायंत्र का क्षण भर भी विश्राम नहीं है, प्राण दास है क्रिया तंत्र का। यहाँ सतत संघर्ष विफलता, कोलाहल का राज यहाँ है, अंधकार में दौड़ लग रही, मत वाला यह सब समाज है। Now last 4 lines. ज्ञान दूर कुछ क्रिया भिन्न है, नो एकात्मकता, नो एकत्व। ज्ञान दूर कुछ क्रिया भिन्न है, इच्छा क्यों हो पूरी मन की, एक दूसरे से न मिल सके, यही विडंबना है जीवन। So the ekatmakta is that path. It ensures us the path. It's a very practical path to be adopted by us all in order to realize that Advaitic model of human existence, that ekatmic model of human existence, which has got to be vyavharik. But in order to reach that goal, we have to negotiate with and then transcend the world of differences, some of which are frightening. Until or unless we have the dharmic pranashakti, until or unless we nurture our Chiti and nurture our Virat as a Rashtra, we are always in the danger of being politically correct but spiritually incorrect. Dhanyavad.